O'Campbell Stadium as we resume action. Sean Jackson replacing Ampli in the Seminole backfield. Sprints out across midfield and drives the ball to the Tulane 44-yard line. That's a first down for FSU.
You mentioned it earlier, Paul, but the coach is talking about Sean Jackson. Another thing they say about him is he plays with a great deal of confidence. He knows that he can get the job done. He's just waiting in the wings, always ready.
The Noles with 5 quality tailbacks at that position. Jackson inside the 40, spun ahead to the 38-yard line. Ampli, yes. Sean Jackson here. Tiger McMillan, who we have seen returning kicks, the redshirt freshman from Kissimmee. There's Marquette Smith, a true freshman as well, and one of the glittering members of Bobby Bowden's class of 1991. And Felix the Cat Harris, who is an outstanding practice player for FSU.
Mr. Spring Practice, what they call Felix Harris. You'll go out there in the doldrums of spring, and Harris will run 5 times for 138 yards.
William Floyd in the backfield, too, for FSU. He blocks for Jackson, who has a yard. The Seminoles will begin to substitute with 2:11 remaining in the third quarter here, and safely ahead, one would imagine, 31-3. Ampli with the touchdown, and Casey Weldon with 3 separate touchdown strikes. 2 to Warren Hart, 1 to Lonnie Johnson. Those 2 guys are tight ends. And Mowry with a field goal and all the PAT.
See Coach Bowden on the sidelines. One of the things that the coaching staff was going to work on doing this week was not showing too much.
Pryor left, Baker right. Weldon on the move, looking for Baker, and has it. First down, Noles at the 28-yard line. He hung that on the line. That is a tough pass to throw, Keith, running against the grain.
That it is. You have a tendency to overthrow this ball. You have a tendency to try to hum it too much when you're moving. Your momentum's moving to your left. But he sets up nicely and delivers it. He goes down sidearm. I don't know if you caught it there, but went down sidearm to keep the ball from being tipped from the on-rushing Tulane defender. Just a great adjustment, and as typical of a lot of things that Casey does on the go.
Weldon has only misfired 6 times this evening. He is 18 of 24. First and 10 at the Tulane 29. Weldon goes underneath, and the catch is made by William Floyd, that reserve fullback, who we told you was in the game. A freshman, 6'2", 224 from St. Pete in Lakewood High School. The man who the coaching staff believes is the fullback of the future at FSU. McDowell on the stop.
The 2 words they use to describe William Floyd is not intimidated. Just a freshman. But this is no big deal to him. This is football just like he played it in high school. It's just more people in the stands, and you get to fly on an airplane to go to an away game.
Talk about not being intimidated. He got in a fight with Dan Footman in practice. Footman, who stands 6'5", a mountain of a man. Weldon into the end zone, and running out of room is Matt Pryor back of the end zone. And there's a penalty marker down, as he did against BYU. Weldon may have been across the line of scrimmage. Let's see. Or an ineligible receiver downfield. Yeah, he was across the line of scrimmage. That happened at BYU. Just lost his position on the field, came across the line of scrimmage, which you can't do.
Very close call, but too close for it to have happened in the BYU game. This time clearly across the line of scrimmage. Trying to connect with Matt Pryor deep in the end zone.
Love to see Pryor get a grab, get that monkey off his back when he dropped 2 catches against BYU. This was a guy in Pryor who had caught 10 passes a year ago and had a touchdown, 2 as a freshman.
Caught about 7,000 passes in his high school career at Live Oak, Suwannee County.
You're still talking about where to spot the ball because there's a loss of down. Here's our referee, and Rod Daly.
I think the decision is, do they want to take the holding call?
We have holding on the offense. That penalty is accepted. We have an illegal forward pass. The quarterback going beyond the line of scrimmage. That is declined. He's taken down.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I had a police officer at an intersection once that was giving me signs like that, and I couldn't figure if I was supposed to go straight or not. He was directing traffic out of the parking lot there. Bobby Bowden's.
Well, he thought it was even a little comical.
Yeah, there he goes.
That game face will come on real quick. Just stay right there. Now we're serious again.
Game face has been on certainly since the get-go, especially when they went west to California. They were all business out there. Weldon all business here. Another grab by William Floyd, who is hit quickly and dropped, hustling up Brandon Hamilton from the secondary.
You see how Weldon's having to go to his alternate receiver, his secondary receiver. He's trying to get the ball downfield, but Tulane doing a great job of keeping all the receivers in front of him.
That will be the final play of the third quarter. This one is 3 quarters through. Florida State, America's #1 ranked team, leading visiting Tulane 31-3. More after this from Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It does not get any better than this. Weldon and company leading as we enter the fourth quarter, Keith, 31-3.
It looks like a glamorous job. Stand back there, looks so pretty, throw that ball, and and sometimes you just get a little bit right where it hurts. No, Kendall, he'll be all right. He'll bounce up.
Kevin Janchek for Tulane, 253-pounder was the double five that was hit. You see Weldon a perfect third quarter, 8 of 8, 65 yards, and Tulane struggles again in this third quarter, as it did against Ole Miss.
Brigham Young only with 2 first downs in the entire half last week against Florida State, both of those on penalties. So far, Tulane with no first downs here in the third quarter on their end.
Florida State has had 2 drives of 14 plays. They opened this game with a single play shot to the tight end Johnson, but they've been quite methodical tonight and continue to build this lead. Here comes Sean Jackson trying to cut outside. He's met head on at the 30-yard line by Gilmore, the cornerback for Tulane, and stop there. It is 4th down.
Interesting call, 3rd and about 12. Probably indicative of Florida State offense throttling down a little bit, although 4th and 11, they're going to go for it. Look for something downfield. They may try to get it all here.
Bobby Bowden to try to hit a strike. Baker, wide left. Weldon coming deep, and he missed everybody. In the vicinity was Sean Jackson out of the backfield. That is a play that FSU popped against Tulane in the Dome last year. They hit it to Bennett. Not this time, however, to Jackson. Injured player hobbling off for Tulane. That's Darren McGowan, whose sister, by the way, and Linda Ann attended FSU, played basketball here. The Broncos of Western Michigan come this way next week. You can see that game both on Seminoles September pay-per-view or on Sunshine Network's delay broadcast throughout the Sunshine State. We invite you to join us here in Doak Campbell as the Seminoles will be gunning for their 3rd win of 1991, trying to stay atop the national polls. That is not easy to do when everyone is taking shots at you. Duncan still at the helm. Chance Miller, his lone setback. Tulane down 31-3, 1st and 10. Miller managed to turn the corner. Oh, he was driven deep out of bounds, and up there to make the stop, Willie Paldo, who backs up Kirk Carruthers on the inside. There's Big Will as we check in once again with Barry Milligan.
Well, Paul, I know Casey Weldon a little disappointed in not leading the Seminoles to another score, but that'll be all for the senior on the night. He'll have to be satisfied with 249 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Brad Johnson will come in to quarterback Florida State on the next offensive series.
And it was a Johnson-Weldon duo that doomed Tulane the last 2 times these 2 teams met a year ago in New Orleans. They both played about equal in that game. 2nd and 7 from the 33. Calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Nearly out of time. Duncan gets it off and gives the ball inside to Harold Dennis, the tailback. And Dennis, maybe a yard or so. Ken Alexander, the sophomore linebacker from LBJ High School in Austin, Texas, on the stop. You see Footman in there. Alexander, Paldo, the inside linebackers in this stacked defensive scheme. Might go to the nickel here, Keith, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Bryce Abbott in there, number 23, calling signals. Definitely in the nickel.
3rd down here, trying to hold on to the football. Needing 7. Out of the shotgun. Duncan, here comes the heat. He's being chased. Can he get it away? Well, he has to hot-foot it out of bounds. The man hot on his heels was Todd McIntosh. And there's pushing and shoving going on at the Tulane sideline. McIntosh at 268 had a load of steam. And 2, when Duncan went in there, off of times the defensive back won't know where that sideline is.
Well, you can blame this one on Duncan. He got to the sidelines, and then he tried to juke and get upfield. You see Greg Davis there upset with his players.
Corey Broadnax was the Tulane player he shoved. That is a game face if I have ever seen one.
Very intense. You're going to watch Duncan get over to the sidelines. He gets flushed out very quickly. See some great speed there. He's going to get to the sidelines and then try to turn upfield. That's Derek Brooks, number 10.
He got blocked into the bench, too, by Rod McDowell. Rod McDowell blocked him into it. Maybe we'll get another look at that. Bobby Bowden has thrown down his garnet and gold hat in disgust. He did not like the call at all. Well, a break for Tulane, although the video evidence doesn't bear it out. It more supports Bobby Bowden.
First down for Tulane in this half, again on a penalty. Operating in Florida State territory.
Yeah, spotted at the FSU 46-yard line. Duncan play action. Cox floats it. Downfield for Urson. He can't make the catch. Penalty marker down. We may have pass interference. Should. Errol McCorvey was with him stride for stride. Let's take a look at that last play and see if number 11, Rod McDowell, does not block Derek Brooks, number 10, there into it. Rather than McDowell, it was 31 Steve Ballard that rolled him in there.
See a Tulane player coming off the sideline right there, number 20. Duncan a little more out of bounds on that review than I initially.
Defense, we penalized 15 yards from a previous spot. First down.
Little sloppy now. Back-to-back plays. Errol McCorvey, the pass interference call.
Watch McCorvey trailing as he tries to run down Urson. Evidently, the pass interference call was called a little earlier once the ball originally left Duncan's hand. There's clearly no interference there. Nevertheless, first down Tulane.
31-3, and the line of scrimmage is the 31. Florida State leading. Duncan trying to put double digits on the board. Throws, and it's caught at the FSU 15-yard line. Steve Ballard, a diving grab. A gain of 16. I like this junior from Metairie, Louisiana. He can really hold on to the football. Dinkins was with him.
He's going to cross all the way back across. Dinkins picks him up. You see 89 do a 360, but he just can't stay with him. Great touch by Duncan and a great grab by Ballard. You got to be impressed with his effort tonight.
For Duncan, that was his 9th completion. He's thrown for better than 100 yards now, making only his 2nd start. First and 10 at the 15-yard line. Running hard. Directing traffic. He's got to get rid of it. Gets a block inside the 10. Hammered to the 9. He gained 6 yards on that play. Reggie Freeman, the outside linebacker for FSU, along with help. Is that John Davis? Aldo is down. Is John Davis in the game? Aldo's shaken up and being attended to by Randy Orovitz, the FSU trainer. Jack Marucci out there, too, from the training staff. And we'll pause as well. 31-3, 12.5 minutes remaining on opening night in Doak Campbell Stadium. Willie Poldo still on the field, the Florida State linebacker being attended to, racked up when Billy Duncan, the Tulane quarterback, drove the ball inside the 10.
They're looking at his left knee. Willie Pardo, number 48's left knee. We'll see if we can get a look at it here. Duncan gives a pretty good lift right there. You see, oh no, you see him turned all the way over. Number 48, Incarnate, turned all the way over on that left knee. Watch Duncan do a good job of eluding one guy here and then turning upfield. Watch 48. Get that left knee just turned underneath him. But he's up and walking off. He's just not happy.
Limping badly is he. Kurt Carruthers and Marvin Jones have been reinserted into the lineup. Marvin Jones has 10 tackles in this football game tonight. 2nd down and 3. Miller dives close to the first down at the 6-yard line. Marvin Jones has 11 tackles. He made the stop. Official timeout with 12 minutes to go in the game, and they'll bring the sticks over from the far side of the field, the Tulane side of the field. Considering this is a very young team, Keith, a 41-point underdog, a rebuilding program, I think that Tulane can be proud of the effort they have shown here this evening against FSU.
There certainly hadn't been any quit in this ball club. They've come after Florida State, and they've not let up. The intensity's still just as high as when the game started.
Well, for Tulane, misfortunately, they got the left foot spot rather than the right foot. The game of the week on Sunshine Network, live at 1 o'clock next Saturday. The Aggies of Texas A&M will take on the LSU Fighting Tigers, who found the going tough today in Athens, Georgia, but we wish Curly Hallman well in Baton Rouge. The Ags and the Tigers, those two do not like each other. Should be a pretty good football game, and you can enjoy it on Sunshine. Third and needing less than a yard against the roar. Indo Campbell, Duncan must run the play. He has the first down. The quarterback sneak calling his own number and lunging inside the 5. First and goal for Greg Davis's young team.
Tulane almost, well, actually halfway through their 8th quarter without a touchdown. Just a simple quarterback sneak to convert the first down. First and goal at the 4.
They did not score a touchdown against Ole Miss. Have been held to one 35-yard field goal by Gary Butler in this game. And Tulane registered their first 6 of 1991 now. Chance Miller won't get there. He's to the 4-yard line. Kurt Carruthers filled the lane. Notice how he cuts back in Miller. Well, Carruthers stayed at home and filled the lane pretty well, didn't he?
Carruthers doing a good job of working laterally down the line from an outside position. Florida State probably going to come with some kind of stunt, not necessarily a blitz, but slanting the lineman one way or the other and try to get through some seams. Only 4 yards of real estate to separate that football from 6 points.
Ballard left, Urson right, Miller. The lone setback for Duncan, working at the 4. Miller, no ho-ho. And now Tulane has Florida State's defense believing they can hold them here. This has been a prolonged effort by Tulane that began all the way back near their own 35-yard line. This will be the 10th play approaching.
Levon Brown, number 31, working from the left side of the line of scrimmage, slants in on a pinch technique, and gets a hand on the foot of Miller, enabling him to make the tackle. Miller not to get up ahead of steam.
Goal line defensive scheme in there. That unit for FSU.
Look for play action, look for man-to-man coverage in the secondary.
Timeout Tulane. Facing third and goal from the 4. And the Seminole war chant, rather loud. It's timeout Tulane. Duncan over to talk to his coach. We'll be back in just a moment on Sunshine. 31-3, Florida State's defensive pride trying to assert itself here and hold off Tulane. And listen to the crowd in Doak Campbell Stadium.
There's the picture example of the natives being restless.
Our producer, Tom Hastings, obviously, has stepped out of the truck and into the stand. Third and goal at the 4-yard line. Very loud for Duncan. He throws it into the end zone for Urson. Incomplete. Buckley was there defensively. 4th and goal. Man coverage, Buckley on Urson. A timing route trying to float it over Buckley's head. Terrell had his back to the quarterback in Duncan. Timing so important, just jumping into the corner, they could not connect.
End of the play there. What you do there, Buckley watching Urson's eyes. When Urson's eyes get big, Buckley finds the ball. Cheerleader during part of his career here at Florida State.
I like that. Timeout, Tulane. That touchdown means a lot to them. We mentioned the fact that when they lost last week to Ole Miss, 22-3, they did not register a TD. They want one badly here, especially with a very young quarterback. We'll be back in just a moment. welcome you back to Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee with Keith Jones. I'm Paul Kennedy. Barry Milligan down on the field, reporting from the sidelines and returning from the sidelines is sophomore QB Billy Duncan. The 11th play unfolding now following the second timeout taken by Tulane.
If Duncan's smart, he'll try to get this play off quick and not allow the crowd to get any louder than it already is.
4th and goal at the 4, and he's going to throw the ball. Into the end zone it goes. He's got a touchdown. A great grab, a great toss, and Jay Young was there on the receiving end. What a throw by Duncan. Perfectly played. There defensively, it appeared to be Corey Fuller. Terrell Buckley in the area too. Another look.
Watch the touch on this ball. Actually not very good, but lays it up and able Young to get under it. Buckley, if he were a designated hitter in the American League, he'd be batting 500.
They went for 2 and got it. Scoring is Chance Miller. And Tulane now trails 31-11. Even the Seminoles were a bit unsettled. A quick snap by Tulane caught us, obviously, and the Seminoles flat-footed. See if we have it here again. A trick play.
Exactly. Muddle huddle. Offensive line off to the left-hand side.
What was that again?
Muddle huddle. Here's your touchdown throw. Watch Buckley get out of position. Young goes up and makes the grab. Sometimes you can get a little excited during this ball game. This little game called football.
Duncan has to be excited. That is his first touchdown pass of his career. That is the first touchdown reception of fellow freshman, or rather freshman, Jay Young's career, and it means a lot to Young. He's from Pensacola and tradition-rich Escambia High School. And to come home and score against top-ranked FSU, Young will remember that play the rest of his life. Butler kicks it deep. And Tiger McMillan from his goal line is prowling across the 10, 15, 20, stumbles to the 24-yard line. The 4-yard pass. Duncan to Young. The extra point, Duncan to Miller. 11 plays, quite patient, 422 it covered 3/4 of this football field. For a guy who could hardly get the snap away when this game began, he has grown up a lot.
Out of bounds on the defensive team, 1st down and 10.
Late hit, ruled against Tulane. 1st and 10 as the ball is marched off. It'll be spotted upfield close to the 40-yard line. And Brad Johnson will be Bobby Bowden's new quarterback with just under 10 minutes remaining. Brad Johnson, the 3-year letterman, the senior, 6'6", 215 from Black Mountain, North Carolina. He was the starter a year ago and is now the 2nd quarterback in this multiple quarterback arsenal for FSU. Floyd and Jackson behind him, and here is Jackson cut down for a loss of a pair by Shane Wiegand, the linebacker, who reacted quickly for Tulane.
This Tulane defense not willing to roll over and play dead. 9:30 left in the contest. You know, it's interesting, Florida State, Coach Bobby Bowden, the master of the trick play. We've never seen Florida State run the muddle huddle in order to try to go for 2, and they have it pulled on them. Tulane successful in converting a 2-point conversion on a trick play.
Number 81, the wide receiver to the top of your picture is Kevin Knox. Shannon Baker to the bottom of the screen. Looking out that way, it's really intercepted as Johnson hunted, or rather Brad Johnson hunted Sean Jackson out of the backfield. And in the flat, Rod McDowell narrowly missed the interception. He's a Florida native too, is McDowell, from Riviera Beach High School. Palm Beach Gardens High School, Riviera Beach, Florida.
Brad Johnson starting the first, I believe, 5 ball games last year for Florida State. You see his numbers there in 90, over 1,000 yards passing. Most of that year spent as a backup to Weldon, although he was the starter when the season opened.
Yeah, in the last 5 games of the year, he had but 5 completed passes, did Johnson. A lot of heat. Now, Brad is an athlete. He can fly. Look out. He got it away. That was caught across midfield at the 49-yard line by Lonnie Johnson, the tight end. And if he doesn't get a game ball in this one, they never get one. A huge night. Thornhill shoved him out of bounds, although Johnson was headed that way. And Brad Johnson to Johnson, Brad to Lonnie. Brad did a great job of getting that one off. He narrowly averted being flattened.
He's 6'6", but he can move. Watch him just set up and settle and deliver the ball very nicely. Johnson right there gets his left foot in, although the right foot was on the line in college. Only one count.
Marcus Vela was chasing Brad Johnson. 1st and 10, 31-11, FSU leading, and the football at midfield. Johnson cranks, fires, it's deflected off Lonnie and picked off. Intercepted by Tulane. Mike Stave, who just happened to be lucky and be in the right spot as the hard toss came off the hands of Johnson 10 yards further downfield. There was Mike Stade for the first turnover this evening by either team. And the football belongs to Tulane, and that was not Brad Johnson's fault. That ball was right on target.
First interception on the year for Florida State quarterbacks. See Johnson set up. He delivers the ball well. It's just going to get tipped. Once it's up in the air, it's for anybody. That one was about 15 yards downfield. Stage gets an early Christmas rush.
1st and 10 for Duncan and company, operating from their 26-yard line. And the inside handoff is to Sean Fagan. Maybe a yard. We have word that Willie Paldo, the injured linebacker for Florida State, has been taken to the FSU dressing room. In fact, we can see him down to the end zone to our left, being carried on the cart just now, entering the tunnel. And his left leg is propped up. So he is obviously gone for the evening. We hope no more than that. Charles Herman leads Tulane out over the football. Their center, the loss of 1, 2nd and 11. From the 25-yard now, needing to crack the Seminole 32. Fagan off the right side. What Tulane is telling us now, Pete, as Fagan loses a yard, is that they want that clock to run and want this score to be respectable rather than putting the ball up into the air. Bobby Bowden is starting to play his reserves, and Greg Davis is saying, I'm not going to start throwing on every down, and have Coach Bowden start doing the same.
A lot of fresh faces in there on the defensive line and also in the defensive backfield for Florida State.
Pass rush for FSU a coming out of the shotgun. This will be a pass. The play being called at the line of scrimmage. The blitz is on 2. Look out, Duncan. Well, he got it away, but he got it away so quickly. He overshot everybody. The heat was coming quickly. Kirk Carruthers was blitzing. Hey, let's check in with Barry Milligan as he has a report on Paldo.
Thanks, Paul. I talked a few minutes ago with team orthopedist Tom Haney, who told me that Willie Paldo definitely has some form of ligament injury. They aren't exactly sure the extent of the injury right now. They've iced down that left knee, and it's just a wait-and-see kind of thing right now. He said the main thing is to see how much swelling occurs in that left knee. But he will be re-examined tomorrow morning extensively to try and find out the exact extent of that ligament damage.
That'd be a shame. A sophomore from Willie Paldo, if he was lost. Twin receivers to the far side as you see in your screen. The man from Florida who caught the touchdown pass, Jay Young, is to the top of your picture. In the slot, number 1, Wilbert Urson. 3rd down and 7. The heat a second time. Carruthers coming. What a grab by Ballard in Florida State country at the 47-yard line. Incredible. Steve Ballard does it again. Duncan just hangs it up there, and somehow Ballard has the football.
Ballard will remind you a lot of another Tulane receiver by the name of Mark Zeno, who set the NCAA career receiving yardage mark during his career at Tulane. Great extension. Not bad coverage by Corey Fuller, but just a little more determination by Ballard, and he brings it in, converts the first down for Tulane.
Ballard, that is reception number 6 tonight for 112 yards. The gain is of 24. Duncan runs it his way again. Out of bounds, 32-yard line. Flagged out, however, in the backfield. We may have holding. Seminoles are clapping, saying that's the case. Holding, yes.
Tulane doing a good job of getting Ballard isolated, recognizing man-to-man coverage or single coverage and getting Ballard isolated.
Holding against the offensive team. The penalty's enforced from the spot of the foul. First down, over.
That's a new rule change too, Paul. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see if we can see it up front. You see right there in the middle of your screen, a little hook right there.
That is a hold.
A couple of plays earlier, we saw Ballard do his extend and receive number. Great extension, great concentration, catches the ball. New revision of the rule, Paul. They do call the holding penalty from the spot of the foul and not the line of scrimmage.
Dennis on the wing. Miller now the lone setback. It's first and 24 to 39. The screen is to call. Chance has it. He has interference. Ahead of the 40, upfield, 44-yard line. Not a bad call there. Got your 5 yards. Second down and 19 remain, however. Carl Simpson, the defensive end, with help from Big Marvin Jones, who has been all over the field tonight. Florida State's number 55. You know, Coach Bowden was saying that he thought Tulane would play this team very well. That although FSU was favored by 41, that was a slap in their face. All the writers were saying, hey, we better have a lot of notes for this one. It could get out of hand early. You're going to play a lot of people. Well, the starters are still in there for Florida State right now with 6 minutes to go in the game, and that's a tribute to Tulane. Todd McIntosh on the stop. Inside of Miller. The number ones are still out there, and all the second-teamers and third-teamers and scouts in garnet and gold that expected to see action tonight. It just hasn't happened, has it? Five and a half and counting. That's left in the fourth. This will be a win for FSU. They'll go 2-0 on the year. But Tulane has made some progress in its building program. Duncan against a four-man rush, floats it down the field, and Young has it deflected. Nearly intercepted at the 25-yard line by Errol McCorvey. McCorvey doesn't have a lot of flash, as does Buckley. He is not as fast, but he's very, very steady. And he was with Young that time. Fourth down. And Clark will punt. Again, a 10-man rush. Clark will hit this inside his 30-yard line. A bouncing snap. A low-line drive punt. McCorvey will have a return from his 23. Right up the chute he comes, and then someone lassos him around chute top. And he is taken back at the 28-yard line, and from that point, Florida State owns the football as Brad Johnson returns the second time to run the Seminole attack. A 5-yard return by Buckley that followed a 36-yard low-line drive punt by Chip Clay. Scott Sanchez for Tulane, the reserve tight end, was the Greenway player who had corralled Buckley on the top of his cleats. 5:09 remaining as Johnson just now joins the huddle. Tiger McMillan becomes the third tailback for FSU, and here comes the Tiger. First down, 49-yard line as well. A gain of a quick 20 for Tiger. The redshirt freshman from Kissimmee, Florida, the 180-pounder, and the state of Florida's high school player of the year 2 years ago.
Now, unlike Amp Lee or Sean Jackson, this guy's a jitterbug. This guy's got moves on a 5'10 frame, great speed.
Paul Moore, a new fullback in the game too. Here is Brad Johnson dumping it to Paul Moore. Moore on the little fullback screen did a great job of feigning it as if he was staying in the backfield for pass protection. At the last moment, Johnson above an on-rushing Green dumped it to Moore, and Moore carries the ball for a gain of 15. 35 yards for the Noles and 2 snaps.
See him move upfield and then just sneak around. Johnson does a great job of eluding the rush, and just wide open spaces up there. Moore very adept at catching the ball, as are all of the Florida State running backs.
See Brad in limited duty. And their pass is caught over the middle. McMillan inside the 30 to the 27. Vela, the linebacker, on the stop. 4 minutes remaining. And the clock winds. 31 to 11. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Works once, let's do it again. 2 times, this time to the tailback. Just a little circle route underneath the linebackers, hoping to break something once they receive the ball and turn upfield.
Matt Fryer, the Seminole receiver, to the bottom of your screen. The deep toss back to McMillan. Hit hard at the 24, runs through that tackle inside the 20, inside the 15. And he fights all the way down to the 12-yard line. Lee can carry the ball. Jackson is affected, and Tiger McMillan, too. Just another weapon for Bobby Bowden. McDowell on the stop from the secondary.
Watch him explode through this tackle. Doesn't want to go down. Good blocking upfield. Just goes right through the arm tackle. Another couple of shifty moves and touched the ball twice and 36 yards.
Kevin Knox flanks wide to the right side. Play action. Firing. No. Open was the receiver in the flat. Paul Moore, the fullback, was off his fingertips. 2nd down. That stops the clock with 3:12 showing.
Chief Osceola looking on. Just a little bit too much for Paul Moore's outstretched hand.
Had a reception a moment ago for 15 yards on that little screen. Is he used again here? 2nd down. Johnson right over the middle. Caught. Touchdown. A tight end. Warren Hart. The 3rd touchdown tonight for Warren Hart. The 4th for Seminole tight ends. Lonnie Johnson had one to open this game. That might be a Seminole record. 4 touchdowns by your tight ends under Bobby Bowden. Pete, you've been here longer than I. Can you remember a game like this?
I don't ever remember one where the tight end has been so effectively used so often. We've had situations, especially with the Reggie Johnsons of the world, where the tight end has played a valuable role on a 3rd or a 4th down, but not this consistently. 4 touchdowns in the tight end position. Mowry converts the extra point.
Your score, 38 to 11 in Tallahassee. Just 3:06 to go. Smiles and laughs all abounding. 61,000 folks here. One of the largest crowds ever in Doak Campbell Stadium, and the Noles are rolling. 38 to 11 with 3:06 to go. Brad Johnson has just found tight end Warren Hart for his 3rd touchdown reception of this game. He has 3 catches, Keith. All 3 have been TD. I'm looking at FSU last year. I don't think a tight end caught a touchdown pass all last year. Neither Johnson nor Roberts caught a touchdown all last year. The ball is bobbled at the goal line by Brad Dupree, and Dupree is going to find trouble. He doesn't reach the 15-yard line. That's the case. Oh, Brad Scott, the offensive coordinator, was bemoaning the fact that they were down to Warren Hart and Lonnie Johnson, and that was it this evening, that neither Brad Lundstrom or Matt Plato, who are trying to redshirt, would be available. But this has been an incredible night for Hart and Johnson. Here comes Duncan, who tonight in this ball game has thrown for 153 yards on 12 of 22 passing, and he has 1 touchdown strike to his wide receiver and Jade Thomas as well. Beginning deep in his own territory. Sean Fagan, the lone setback.